For most of human history, being alone with your thoughts wasn't peaceful. It was actually dangerous. Think about it. Early human minds didn't evolve for quiet contemplation. They evolved to scan the environment. Constantly, they were looking for threats, for any slight movement, for any change that could signal harm. In that world, silence wasn't empty. It usually meant something was wrong, that a familiar sound was missing. Attention only turned inward when the outside world went quiet. And when it did, that internal focus was rarely comforting. Our thoughts weren't neutral back then. They were packed with memory, fear, loss, and the anticipation of what could go wrong next. Without the constant distraction of the environment, the mind would just replay dangerous scenarios over and over to prepare for them. We might call that rumination or anxiety today, but for our ancestors, it was a survival rehearsal, a mental training exercise to stay alive. So, how did they cope? Community was the key. It helped regulate this internal alarm system. Stories were shared around the fire, daily tasks were constant, and rituals filled the quiet gaps in the day. Being busy, talking with others, or working on something kept the mind anchored to the outside world. Being truly alone was rare, and when it did happen, it was usually temporary. Then, as societies became more stable and secure, the immediate physical dangers started to fade. But our minds didn't get the memo that quickly. The hardware didn't change. Our thoughts no longer warned us of predators hiding in the bush, but they still carried the weight of uncertainty, regret, self-doubt, and imagined futures. The silence became uncomfortable, even though it was no longer life-threatening. And so, we adapted by finding new ways to fill the quiet. First, it was more conversation, music, and work. And now it's screens. We use anything we can to keep the mind occupied and pointed outward, because that deep-seated stillness can start to feel like exposure, like we're vulnerable. So, it's not that humans feared their thoughts because they were weak. They feared them because the mind evolved to expect danger in quiet moments. The world and its silence changed much faster than our brains could follow. Thanks for watching.